narrations. Their madhab is a very simplistic madhab. We believe in whatever came in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Use it. You can't go back and take it. You gave it to Allah wa ta'ala. So you don't try to use any of it for yourself or for your nafs now. And the same thing, which is something that's given for Allah wa ta'ala, that thing is only to be used for the service of deen. So that her giving her daughter in that sense meant that, you know, she can't get married. She is being dedicated for worship and khidmah and service at the Bayt al-Maqdis. This is her job. Allah, if you give me a child, give me a daughter, at this age that I'm at, I will have that child. Well, actually, she didn't know it was going to be a daughter. She thought she was going to have a son. When she had a daughter, she was shocked. Like, subhanAllah, how am I going to dedicate this girl to Bayt al-Maqdis? She's going to have a time of months. She won't be able to pray sometimes. How can I do this? But because she made that dua when her daughter was born, she said, oh Allah, even though she dedicated her daughter to not get married, because they had rahbaniyah in that time, they had where they would not get married. They would not marry. They would just do worship and not marry. With Islam, that was abrogated. But with them, they used to do that. So her intention was that she's not going to get married. She's going to worship at the Bayt al-Maqdis for the rest of her life. But she said, oh Allah, I ask you to protect her and her progeny from the shaitan al-rajim. So Allah Ta'ala answered that dua and gave her a progeny and protected them both. The shaitan had pinched or poked every child when it was born, except for Maryam and Isa alayhim as-salam. Because of that dua of the parent. So look at, he entrusted his son to Zakaria as-Saji. Abdur-Rahman al-Ash'ari was entrusted to Zakaria as-Saji rahimahullah to teach him the hadith and fiqh, and his father died. He was under his stepfather al-Jubba'i, who taught him i'tizal, taught him to be a mu'tazila for all those years. But Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala was going to answer that dua of his father. So then what happened? وَكَانَ it says here, اعتنق الإمام أبو الحسن الأشعري في بداية أمره عقيدة المعتزلة متأثرا بأبي علي الجبائي المعتزلي الذي تزوج أمه بعد وفاة أبيه حتى تبحر في تلك العقيدة وكان من أئمتها المشار إليهم بالبنان. Al-Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari rahimahullah ta'ala, in the beginning of his affair, he was on the Aqeedah of the Mu'tazila, being influenced by Abu Ali al-Jubba'i al-Mu'tazili, who married his mother after the death of his father, until he had gotten deep in that Aqeedah, and he became from its imams that people point to with their finger, like, that's the man to go to right there. Al-Mushar ilayhim bil-banan, he was pointed at with fingertips. وكان سبب رجوعه عن الاعتزال أنه لما تبحر في كلام الاعتزال وبلغ غاية كان يريد الأسئلة على أستاذه في الدرس ولا يجد جوابا شافيا فتحير في ذلك. He said that the reason of his leaving i'tizal is when he became deep in their science, deep in their understanding of the creed. The reason why he went back is because he used to bring questions. He used to bring questions to his teacher in the class and not find any sufficient answer for the questions he was asking. So he became confused from that. And it's been said about him, وَحُكِيَ عَنْهُ أَنَّهُ قَالَ وَقَعَ فِي صَدْرِ بَعْضُ اللَّيَالِي شَيْءٌ مِمَّا كُنْتُ فِيهِ مِنَ الْعَقَائِدِ فَقُمْتُ وَصَلَّيْتُ رَكْعَتَيْنِ وَسَأَلْتُ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى أَنْ يَهْدِيَنِ الطَّرِيقَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. He said, one night something came into my heart from what I was studying and what I was learning in the Aqeedah. So I stood up and I prayed 2 rakats and I asked Allah Ta'ala to guide me to the straight path. وَنِمْتُ فَرَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم فِي الْمَنَامِ. He says, so I went to sleep and I saw Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم in my dream. فَشَكَوْتُ إِلَيْهِ بَعْضَ مَا بِي مِنَ الْأَمْرِ. So I complained to him of some of what I was going through from this matter. Like how I was discomforted from some of the stuff I'm doing. I'm not agreeing. It's not resting in my heart. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عليك بسنتي فانتبهت وعارضت مسائل الكلام بما وجدت في القرآن والأخبار فأثبته ونبذت ما سواه ورائي ظهريا. He said, so the Prophet ﷺ said, stick to my sunnah. When I complained to him what I was going through, he said, عليك بسنتي. You must cling to my sunnah. So I woke up and I presented those issues of theology next to the Quran and the narrations from the Prophet ﷺ. So what I found in the Quran and in the akhbar, I affirmed. And whatever else there was, I threw it behind my back and left it. وذكر أبو القاسم حجاج بن محمد الطرابلسي from the people of Tripoli, from West Africa. He says, I asked Abu Bakr Ismail ibn Abi Muhammad ibn Ishaq al-Azdi al-Qayrawani, the one who is known by Ibn Azra rahimahullah, about al-Hasan al-Ash'ari rahimahullah. So I said to him, it's been said to me about him that he was a Mu'tazili, and that وَإِنَّهُ لَمَّا رَجَعَ عَنْ ذَلِكَ أَبْقَى الْمُعْتَزِلَ نُكَةً لَمْ يَنْقُضْهَا. That he was a Mu'tazili, and when he left i'tizal, he still had some remainder of i'tizal with him that he did not get rid of. فَقَالَ لِي, so he said to me, الْأَشْعَرِيُّ شَيْخُنَا وَإِمَامُنَا وَمَنْ عَلَيْهِ مُعَوَّلُنَا قام على مذاهب المعتزلة 40 سنة وكان لهم إماما ثم غاب عن الناس في بيته 15 يوما. He said, Al-Ash'ari is our Shaykh and our Imam. Al-Ash'ari is our Shaykh and our Imam. And he is the one upon whom we depend in the matters of creed. He stood upon the madhabs of the Mu'tazila for 40 years. And he was an Imam to them. Then he left the people in his house for 15 days. He went in his house, he went in seclusion in his house for 15 days. فَبَعْدَ ذَلِكَ خَرَجَ إِلَى الْجَامِعِ فَصَعِدَ الْمِنْبَرِ. And after that, he came out to the masjid and he went on to the minbar. وَقَالَ, and he said, مَعَاشِرَ النَّاسِ إِنِّي إِنَّمَا تَغَيَّبْتُ عَنْكُمْ فِي هَذِهِ الْمُدَّةِ لِأَنِّي نَظَرْتُ فَتَكَافَأَتْ عِنْدِ الْأَدِلَّةِ وَلَمْ يَتَرَجَّحْ عِنْدِي حَقٌّ عَلَى بَاطِلٍ وَلَا بَاطِلٌ عَلَى حَقٍّ. He said, "O people, I was absent from you for this period. Since meant that everything I used to believe, as I am disrobing myself from this stove right now." And he took off his stove and he threw it off of the minbar. وَانْخَلَعَ مِنْ ثَوْبٍ كَانَ عَلَيْهِ وَرَمَى بِهِ. He threw his stove off the minbar. وَدَفْعَ الْكُتُبِ إِلَى النَّاسِ. And he gave his book to the people. فمنها كتاب اللمع وكتاب أظهر فيه عوار المعتزلة سماه بكتاب كشف الأسرار وهتك الأستار. There was a كتاب اللمع. كتاب اللمع. تفضل. Told the brothers I would take the brothers back to the school days when we had show and tell. I know it got late. I'm sorry. We're going to end it inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala because we don't want to take too long. And I know we did come a little bit late here.
See you next Friday.
Inshallah, I'd love to. We can talk about Abu Mansur al-Maturidi. It's real short because he was far away. They didn't have a lot of information about his life. Inshallah ta'ala. So he did another book that he clarified the misconceptions that the Mu'tazila have. It was called Kashf al-Asrar wa Hatf al-Astar. It was called basically the revealing of the secrets and the ripping down of the curtains.
Rip them down.
Ripping down the curtains. Hatf al-Astar. وغيرهما. And other books besides those. فلما قرأ تلك الكتب أهل الحديث والفقه من أهل السنة والجماعة أخذوا بما فيها وانتحلوه واعتقدوا